You're listening to the FAI INKWELL. This podcast is produced by Frontier Alliance International, making our weekly published articles available in audio format. Explore all citations and footnotes in the original document and get more information about FAI at fai.online. Thanks for listening.
Hi everyone, this is part one of the recent article series titled A Heavy Stone. Israel is a sensitive subject, to say the least, and it has been ever since God said to Abraham, "I will bless those who bless you, and him who dishonors you I will curse." Throughout history, the nations have raged in hostility toward the God who elects, and specifically toward those whom he has elected. Unfortunately, in recent months, animosity for Israel has heightened at an alarming rate. The Western world is stepping into a long and nuanced historical and biblical context that we don't have the luxury of being indifferent toward. How does this relate to you? Soon, I believe, the world will be pressed with this issue in a way that it hasn't been pressed with since the Holocaust. Though Jesus did say that the coming hostility toward Israel will far surpass anything in history, World War II included. Behold, I am about to make Jerusalem a cup of staggering to all the surrounding people. The siege of Jerusalem will also be against Judah. On that day, I will make Jerusalem a heavy stone for all the peoples. All who lift it will surely hurt themselves, and all the nations of the earth will gather against it. This issue will not pass you by or let you go. It will touch you. It may be felt sooner by those living in the region, but it won't be long before it's in your backyard. The controversy of Israel is an inevitable and unavoidable reality, especially so for the disciples of the King of the Jews. So the world in general, but Christians in particular, need to be prepared for the consequences of standing with or against Israel. The church needs to be able to handle this weighty subject without throwing our backs out. To be clear, I don't have a particular affinity for the Jewish people. I don't agree with everything the state of Israel does. I agree with what the Word says about Israel, and I have a strong affinity for the God of Israel. Therefore, I stand with Israel. So what does it mean to stand with Israel? Does it mean having an I Stand With Israel Facebook profile photo? Possibly, but not necessarily. Consider Oskar Schindler, a German employer who saved Polish Jews from the Nazi Party. Or King Boris III, who spared Bulgaria's entire Jewish population from destruction in World War II. These men were publicly aligned with the Nazi regime, yet actually stood with the Jewish people in the way that mattered most. What does it mean to stand against Israel? Is it launching rockets into civilian-populated areas? Certainly. But could it also be mere indifference, or even silence, like the churches along the railroad to Auschwitz? This is a weighty and nuanced issue, and the consequences are everlasting. We should be eager then to allow Jesus to define what he means by standing with or against Israel. Jesus stood on the Mount of Olives to the east of Jerusalem and described to his disciples the season of his return at the end of this age. Along with many warnings and clear timing indicators, Jesus unpacked with precision what would become of those who mistreat his beloved brethren. When the Son of Man comes in his glory, and all the angels with him, then he will sit on his glorious throne. Before him will be gathered all the nations, and he will separate people one from another as a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats. And he will place the sheep on his right, but the goats on his left. Then the king will say to those on his right, "Come, you who are blessed by my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and you welcomed me. I was naked, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you visited me. I was in prison, and you came to me." Then the righteous will answer him, saying, "Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you drink? And when did we see you a stranger and welcome you, or naked and clothe you? And when did we see you sick or in prison and visit you?" And the king will answer them, "Truly I say to you, as you did it to one of the least of these my brothers, you did it to me." Note here the Greek word used in this passage for my brothers or brethren is the exact word Paul used in Romans 9, verse 3 through 5, when referring to his kinsmen according to the flesh, the Israelites. Jesus has in mind a particular people at a particular time, his Jewish brethren during the time of Jacob's trouble. Think World War II and visiting Jesus' brethren in prison, and what that might cost you, or what it will cost you if you don't. Then he will say to those on his left, "Depart from me, you cursed, into the eternal fire prepared for the devil and his angels." Then he will answer them, saying, "Truly I say to you, as you did not do it to one of the least of these, you did not do it to me. And these will go away into eternal punishment, but the righteous into eternal life." Mistreatment of the Jew is mistreatment of Jesus himself, and the consequence is everlasting. Likewise, hospitality toward God's people in their greatest time of need is considered affection for Jesus and will be rewarded forever.
Thank you for listening to the FAI Inkwell. This podcast is part of our commitment to resource those who have the gospel as we prioritize reaching those who do not have the gospel. For more information about our ministry and pioneering initiatives among the unreached and unengaged, download the FAI app or visit us at fai.online. Maranatha.